Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure and honor to present to you the contribution of the European panel industry to the European Commission Bauhaus initiative. And I'm doing this on behalf of the European panel industry. Wood-based panels are obviously manufactured out of wood, which I think quite obviously shows that our products can play an important role in achieving the Bauhaus initiative's goals. Actually, wood-based panels have a climate positive impact on the CO2 footprint of the building materials industry, and I'm going to tell you in more detail how we're actually doing this, but also how our products and our systems contribute to achieving the other objectives that the European Commission's Bauhaus initiatives has defined and set forth. As we all know, and as we have already heard this morning, the Bauhaus initiative is centered on three pillars, on three goals. One is sustainability and circularity. Another one is the social aspect of affordable construction, affordability. The third one is tackling the aspects of design, creativity, and innovation. And the wood-based panels and the wood-based panels industry, for that matter, can actually make a contribution to all three of those objectives. Let's start with sustainability, which is the most obvious strong point for wood-based products and wood-based panels specifically. The numbers that you see on this page are taken out of a study that has been performed on behalf of the forest-based industries in Europe. So this is not only panel industry, but also forests, the whole woodworking sector, of which the panel industry is an important part of, but also paper industry. It is based, when it comes to evaluating the impact on carbon footprint, on the 3S framework, so taking into account and evaluating sequestration, storage, and substitution. And we also take into account, obviously, the thermal energy needs to produce our products. If we combine those three factors, we come to a positive climate contribution today of roughly 800 million tons of CO2 equivalents per year. This is, for roughly half of it, is achieved by the fact that sustainably managed forests, are a natural carbon sink. So they are storing CO2, trees are storing carbon when they are growing, and also products that are made out of wood and then used over its life cycle also store carbon. Those two together roughly make up for 450 million of CO2 equivalent tons per year. Roughly the same amount is achieved by material substitution. So by using wood, you forego using other materials that have a negative CO2 footprint. And actually the fossil emissions, or the burning of fossil energy and the emissions of CO2 when wood is burned in order to produce thermal energy to produce these wood-based panels, accounts for only 50 million that you actually have to deduct from the positive contribution. So this leads to this total of roughly 800 million tons of CO2 equivalent per year. And this is a huge number because it's actually 20% of total EU fossil emissions. So I think by these numbers, it becomes clear that wood-based panels and the forest-based industries in total do play a very important role in fighting climate change for Europe as a whole. What is important to understand in that context is something that our industry and we are advocating for a long time already. And this is what we refer to as cascade use. So wood should be used in several steps all over its life cycle. And by doing so, this important positive contribution to climate can actually be achieved. Really, one industry's waste in our biosphere is another industry's raw material. Let me tell you one example. Particle board, which are boards that are used primarily for furniture industry, kitchen cabinet, but also in some areas for construction, is today on average in Europe made for 43% out of recycled wood. So wood that already was used in furniture or other applications beforehand. Another third of the wood used in particle board actually is sourced out of industrial byproducts. So the sawdust or the chips that are coming out of sawmills or other woodworking industries. And only a fourth is actually fresh virgin roundwood. The same applies for other products within the wood-based panels product range. But by this you can see that wood-based panels is pursuing a thoroughly balanced sourcing strategy out of recycled wood, waste, and fresh wood. Interestingly so, in some countries like Italy, the degree of usage of recovered wood in the production and manufacturing of particle board is already close to 100%. And naturally, this helps and this fosters and this underscores the positive climate impact of wood-based panels in general. Let's talk about creativity and let's talk about innovation for a minute. The second pillar of what the European Union's Bauhaus initiatives is aiming for. Wood-based panels date back a little bit more than 100 years, but have become real industrial products within the last 50 or 60 years, really. There has been tremendous progress in terms of technical performance of our products, cost, so performance went up, cost went down. The scale of our plants in Europe went up. The diversity of products and solutions was widened, and lots of new applications have been found. And I cannot cover all of those in these 10 minutes, but let me just point out that wood-based panels and timber frame construction in general is offering ideal solutions for many challenges that today's urban planners are confronted with. Today, if we want to achieve and if we want to secure affordable building and living and working space for European citizens, we need to make cities denser. This densification approach makes it necessary to build on existing structure. Wood frame constructions are light in weight and are therefore ideal to do that. But they're not only light, but they can also come, and in most cases come in the way of prefabricated modules, which reduces tremendously the construction time on site. And this is something which is key to make big construction sites work in the center of big cities with lots of traffic and lots of logistics challenges. So our industry not only offers new products that became more affordable every year or so, but also offers ideal solutions on how to construct in the 21st century with the trends in urbanification and urbanization that we are living in today's world. I could talk for a day about the design aspects of wood. I think most of us, most of you will love living in an environment with lots of wood and wood surfaces. Here again, there are lots of aspects to mention. For instance, that wood obviously is a healthy building material for those people living or working in such spaces. As I understand, later today, there's a different presentation on specifically those aspects. Let's talk about the third and final pillar of European Union's Bauhaus initiative, which addresses the aspects of social welfare and of affordable housing in general. Urban housing now more than ever must become livable and also more affordable together. More and more people are actually moving into cities, and more people are looking obviously for more space and comfort. And as we have seen in the pandemic, with the rising of remote working, home office, etc., there is more and more mixing of living, working, and leisure spare time activities. And this creates completely new challenges for the buildings in our world. They have to be modular, they have to be adaptable, they have to be designed to be recycled later on. And all of this is very well possible with wood-based panels. And we are happy that the rise of wood, the share of wood-based of timber frame constructions and the share of wood-based panels in building materials in general is on the rise, on a strong rise for many years now, and that therefore our industry can actually contribute to achieving those goals. And finally, let me tell you something about our industry. Our industry consists of mostly family-owned, private-owned companies having between 100 and maybe 5,000, 10,000 employees in total. We offer jobs for a variety of skills, from very qualified specialists to low-skilled labor. And our industries are very often active in rural areas that are otherwise economically underdeveloped. Therefore, our industry not only provides products and solutions to the challenges as highlighted in the Bauhaus initiative, but also is a backbone of Europe's industrial activity in process industry in a broader sense. So who are we as an industry? To summarize this, the European Panel Federation is representing roughly 5,000 companies that together achieve a turnover of approximately 22 billion euro and which stand for 100,000 jobs. The products we are doing, some of them I mentioned, is particle board, but also MDF and OSB board. That's other type of wood-based panel boards, hard and soft board, and also plywood. Our association has members in 32 European countries, and we are working together to make our industry's voice heard in Brussels and also on the national level to make the advantages of building and living with wood heard and understood by policymakers and public alike. Finally, we do not also come and contribute and offer our contribution and our working with the European Union Bauhaus initiative, but we also have three specific demands or three specific wishes. Number one, we propose the use of sustainable nature-based products and solutions to have them included in the evaluation of the circular economy. So let's make sure that there's a framework that takes into account the circularity aspect of building materials in general, and by this obviously of wood-based panels, when evaluating their impact to the circular economy. Second, I talked about it, let's stimulate the cascading use of harvested wood products, because this benefits the resource efficiency of our forests all over Europe. And number three, we would like to promote harmonization and well-being in homes by enabling citizens to choose climate-friendly raw materials. That means that the public has to be educated about the climate impact of different building materials so that people can make decisions and can choose and can make the right choices to create better working and living spaces in Europe through the Bauhaus initiative, and also contribute actively towards Europe's fight against climate change. Thank you very much.